This is from PFF. Russell Wilson last night. Under pressure, 52% of his dropbacks. Browns only blitzed 3 times all game. So that's an indication and a sign that they got home with the 4 or 5 they were rushing, which that's when you do that, you generally keep the offense from scoring a lot of points.
Can we? And I was on the show earlier today, and I said this: can we stop doing this? Myles Garrett, is probably the best non-quarterback in the league. He's the best defensive player in the league. He's been that multiple times. He's had 10 plus sacks, 7 straight years. Before this game, we would have told you that Myles Garrett is having a bad year and a down year, and maybe we need to shut him down. He has foot problems and he's been banged up a little bit. But let me just go ahead and show you why the whole Myles Garrett disappearing thing in Cleveland needs to die very quickly. The man showed you the levels to this thing. We like TJ Watt. He's good. He's going to be a Hall of Fame player, not taken away from him. But it's not even close in my book. Myles Garrett has been a better player. Myles Garrett might go down as the best defensive end skill set to ever play the game of football. And the fact that every single time that we turn on the TV and we don't see a sack or anything in the column for Myles Garrett, it is not time to start talking about why he disappears and how he's overrated. I don't know how PFF has him rated that high. Well, maybe because they're watching the tape and they're rewinding it back, and we just looking at the stats in the score sheet. As a former defensive end, there's lots of things you can do on the football field that applies to winning football. That stat you just gave applies to it. Just because Myles Garrett got 3 sacks, it doesn't mean that he was not more impactful on other plays. When you got hands up, when you're in the backfield, the almost sacks, the fact that you have to allocate resources to block him. You got to keep a running back in to block him. You got to keep a tight end in to block him. Don't you want those guys out in route patterns? I would love to have my running back and tight end out. But guess what? When you're doing those type of things and you have to slide to protection and the tackles over there, that's the less amount of people that you can put out to get yards and to throw the football. So Myles Garrett affects the game more than what the eye can see. It's all in the details. It's all in the tape. And Myles Garrett just shows you when he plays like this that there's nothing you can do with him. We should learn to stop questioning his ability every single time we turn over the page and we're like, oh, he didn't have 3 sacks today. He must have not did anything.
Yeah, and the other thing is, whatever the Brown, where was that from the offensive line? Because TJ Watt was a non-factor. How did you do that, and why did it take you until week 12 to be able to do that on the offensive line? Yeah, right? Yes, because he was a TJ Watt was a non-entity.
Nothing. I think they did a good job of pointing it out on the broadcast, and they ran the ball a little better than I thought they would have given the circumstances with the field and the weather. So kudos to the offensive line. We've been tough on them. I thought they played one of their best games this year.